Hello everybody, what's good, what's happening, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ethan Hall, your local real estate professional here in Columbus, Georgia. And in today's video, we are going to be going over things to do in Columbus, Georgia. Now this is going to be a pretty long video, so sit tight if you would like to watch the whole thing. If not, you can maybe skip around a little bit and try to figure out exactly what you're looking for out of this video. But we are going to be covering pretty much everything there is to do inside of Columbus, Georgia. I got about 41 different places on this list that we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to go ahead and start getting straight into what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to start off talking about the outdoor activities that we have here in Columbus. So to start that off, we're going to start pretty familiar with the Chattahoochee Riverwalk. So as many of you know, this attraction is about 22 miles long, and it hosts a bunch of different kind of art and sculptures along the way that you're able to see as you are jogging and biking up this path. As I said, it's about 22 miles long, a lot of artwork and things that you can see as you are going up and down this place. I've been around 10 or 5 miles down, and then I biked 5 miles back one year, about probably when I was maybe 16 or 17 years old is when I did that. And that was absolutely enough for me. Took everything in me to get back home. I was chafing. It was not a very good experience, but I do feel good that I did it at the end of the day. But again, it's 22 miles long, so if you feel like you can do something like that, then good luck to you. So there's definitely enough track there for everybody and anybody that would like to do so. Also, next up on this list, moving on, we're going to go to the Whitewater Rafting and the Kayaking, which is right adjacent to the Riverwalk, at least right where it starts at. So the Whitewater Rafting course is actually one of the longest, or if not the longest, whitewater rafting course in the world. It has levels 1 through 5, so you're able to be a beginner, or you can get more of a seasoned professional. If you are more adept in the whitewater rafting scene, then you can go to those higher levels. So there is a lot of options there as well. I have never personally done it. I have had a really bad experience in this river when I was a kid, whenever the dam let go and I almost got swept up, got stuck in some rocks underwater, and luckily I got myself out and was able to save myself from that situation. But ever since then, I've kind of had a bad feeling about the river, and I try not to go in it as much as I can. They also have kayaking over here too, which we do host tournaments and events like that for kayaking as well off this river. So definitely a lot of things to do on the water. I would probably do kayaking before I did the whitewater rafting, just because I have a little bit more control over exactly what's going on, and I'm not completely overtaken by nature itself. So again, the kayaking and also whitewater rafting, as I'm sure many of you know, but it is a good thing to go do if you might be interested in it. And also there is the ziplining course that goes straight over the Chattahoochee River. It goes from Columbus over to the Phoenix City side, and then you're able to hop off and then hop back on to the other zip line and then come on the way back. So I've actually done this before. It is super cool. It's a lot longer than you think it would be from just looking straight across the river, and you also seems like you're going a lot faster than whenever you watch other people do it. So definitely a really cool experience. Super beautiful while you're up there. You're able to see from really high up, and definitely a really cool experience if I do say so myself. But definitely a good thing to go check out. It's super quick. It does not take up that much time to go do this zip lining, since it is just right there and right back. It's not like a whole bombastic course like you have whenever you go to North Carolina or Tennessee or any other parts of the country that have a lot of zip lining courses. So definitely a cool little icebreaker, I would say, whenever it comes to zip lining, to see if you might be into something like that, and also pretty exhilarating if I do say so myself. So moving on to the next portion of the outdoor activities that we have here inside of the city is going to be some parks that I'm going to mention. So first park we're going to mention is going to be the Standing Boy Creek Park, which is going to be up near the Fortson area of kind of directly north of Columbus, or a little bit north of Columbus. And up there is again the Standing Boy Creek Park, and up there you can do the horseback riding, biking, and also you can walk as well through the trails. Really scenic and really beautiful. I've heard nothing but good reviews about this place. I do not know if they have any horseback riding places up there that you're able to rent from and go with people, go down these trails. But I know if you do own a horse, you are allowed to go down some of these trails and have a good time over there. So that sounds like a really good time to me. At least I've been horseback riding before, and I've always had a good time doing that, even though sometimes, or the first time that I went horseback riding, my horse didn't really like to, I guess, listen to me all that well, and it kind of got off the trail and started going in the woods, and then it started running super fast for some reason. I couldn't get it to stop. So pretty scary. That happened when I was like super young. I don't know why that tend to happen to me when I was super little, but I've been back on a horse since. I've actually broken in a couple of horses bareback before. Whenever shortly after that, I think after that incident, my friend actually got 2 horses, and we ended up breaking in those 2 horses. So fairly familiar with them, but definitely a cool place to go check out if you do own some horses, and if they do have a place up there that you're able to get some horses from and do those trails on. Please let me know down in the comments below, or I will look it up after the video and I'll let you guys know down there too. So moving on to the next park, we have the Flat Rock Park. So Flat Rock Park is a super popular park. It's around 250 acres, and it has about 5 miles of biking and walking trails there as well. No horseback riding from here in this park, as well as I'm aware, but they do have a pond here that you're able to fish out of. You're not able to swim in it, and you're not able to put any water vessels inside of it, but you can fish out of it. I do see people fish here from time to time. I actually have a tour video up on the channel if you'd like to go check it out. I kind of go really in depth on exactly everything that you can do inside of Flat Rock Park and showcase it for you all. They have an 18-hole disc golf course here, as well as a couple of different parks that you can take your children to go play at. And they also have the pavilions and some picnic tables for events for families and friends, activities and things of that nature. Also, right when you go into the park, hence the name of the park, Flat Rock Park, there is a big flat rock, as you could imagine, and it kind of dips off down a hill, and it has a stream that goes through it, and it kind of goes down the rocks, and it creates little waterfalls here and there, but it is super slippery. So whenever I was a kid, I would come here all the time, and we would slip on the rocks and slide down, and it was a super fun time whenever I was a kid. So definitely a good place to go check out if you do have children. They can go and play on here. Just be super careful about the slippery rocks, because it has the moss and the slime and all that on it. So, but definitely a good place to go check out. And again, I have a video up on the channel if you would like to go into more detail on exactly what this all looks like and other things to do inside of the park. But moving on to the next park is going to be Cooper Creek Park. This is going to be double the size of Flat Rock Park, about 500 acres. It has 2 ponds, and it has a whole bunch of biking and walking trails here as well. You're able to fish inside of the ponds. No swimming and no boating in these ponds either, just the fishing. I also have a tour up on the channel going over this park as well if you'd like to go check it out. This park also has around 30 tennis courts that are lit throughout the year and through the night, open until around 9 p.m. This park hosts a lot of tournaments and events related to tennis, as it is one of the biggest southeastern tennis facilities in the region. So definitely a good place to go check out if you would like to go, play some tennis, watch tennis, or just hang out with the family. I would say Cooper Creek Park has a lot more areas whenever it comes to open grasslands that you're able to sit down and play with your kids and dogs and things like that. They have a lot more picnic tables, a couple of pavilions, but a lot bigger than Flat Rock for sure. Just not a lot of, you have to walk a lot of places. There's not a lot of places to drive, so mostly walking at the end of the day whenever it comes to it. So if you're into more of the walking scene and you're a lot more activities inside of your park, then maybe go to Cooper Creek. Flat Rock Park does have the walking and the biking and things like that, but not as much as Cooper Creek, and you're actually able to drive all the way around Flat Rock Park, and you're not able to do that over at Cooper Creek. So moving on to the next park on the list, which is going to be my park that I frequent the most often with my son, is going to be the West Britt David Park. So in West Britt David Park is mainly just a really big sports facility, I would say. So they have a couple of softball fields, baseball fields, as well as a football field that has a soccer goal that you can kind of put wherever you want if you would like to play that. So lots of events and things happen here. There's usually a lot of people here throughout the day, especially in the morning and on the weekends with their children. That's mainly the reason why I end up bringing my kid here. This is the place where I see the most activity out of all the parks inside of Columbus, and I think that's due to the proximity of it being literally in the middle of a neighborhood and also right next to a Home Depot and a Walmart. Even though it does not feel like it is right next to that at all, Columbus has really done a good job of kind of intertwining spaces lately, so putting parks and neighborhoods and then those right next to commercial places and things of that nature. They've done a really good job with that. You really can't tell that you're inside of the city, or in the heart of the city whenever you're inside of this park. But I love taking my son here. There's usually a lot of other kids that come with their families in the area that play at the park here as well. They've also done some updates to the park and added some they've renovated the swing set that was there, as well as put an activity, or not an activity, but a fitness center where you lift up on the weights. You don't use like the weights like the barbells, but you use your own body weight. It's also handicap accessible too, so that's pretty good. They just added that in a couple months ago. They also have a little creek that goes through here that spawns a crap ton of toads and frogs every year during their mating seasons. So another reason why I bring my son here is because he loves picking up toads, frogs, lizards, crickets, grasshoppers, all that stuff. So this park is absolutely loaded with that during certain times of the year. And again, definitely really good and geared towards a lot of families. I do see a lot of activity here in this park whenever it comes to things of that nature, compared to the other parks on this list. So moving on to the next portion is going to be talking about Lake Harding, which is going to be the one major lake, or I say the biggest lake in the area. There's also Lake Oliver, but that one is a little bit harder to access, since it's being kind of all around the Green Highland Hills area here in Columbus. So Lake Harding, as you would know, which you do want a lake, so go boating, fishing. There's also some campgrounds over there in the area as well. So rent some boats, some jet skis, have a good time, drink some beer, have a cookout, and that's really all it is. A lake's a lake. I think everybody pretty much knows that for the most part. So moving on to the next portion of the video, we're going to go over some family fun and adventure places that you're able to go to inside of the city. So first up is going to be some trampoline parks. So we have the Urban Air Adventure Park, as well as the Sky Zone Trampoline Park. Now there is some differences between these two parks. So Urban Air does have the trampoline park inside of it, but it also has like an arcade and I believe some rock climbing and some other things as well. And the Sky Zone is strictly just the trampoline portion of things. I know they have some dodgeball over there as well, and they have toddler time from around, I think it starts at maybe 11 to 12 or 11 to 1, somewhere around there. But they have toddler time. You're able to bring your children up there, and you don't have to worry about the big adults and things like them jumping around and potentially getting in the way of your kids' fun, or hurting somebody. So they have the time blocked off for that, which is super good. And moving on to the next part is going to be Stars and Strikes. So Stars and Strikes is all the way up on the northern part of the city. Opened up a number of years ago, but is super duper popular. They have a whole bunch of stuff to do inside of there. Really big arcade. They have darts. They have bowling. I believe they might have a pool table as well. They also have a full service restaurant in there too. And what happens is whenever you order some food, they put it on these little robots, and the robots actually bring your food to you, so you don't actually have a server bringing you anything. So pretty cool, a little bit futuristic, a little bit inside of this area. I know some people, or a lot of people, don't like going here for the simple fact that it is kind of super crowded, especially on the weekends and busy high time hours inside of this facility. So, but it's definitely a cool place. I've been here a multiple of times, and I love arcades. I'm a huge nerd. I love playing games, and I love bowling too. So definitely a good place to check out with the family and have a good time. Next up is going to be Hollywood Connections. So Hollywood Connections is kind of encapsulates pretty much everything that you could want out of an entertainment center. I don't know if it lives up to its name, but it does have a movie theater inside of it, mini golf course, rollerblading rink, as well as an arcade and laser tag inside of the facility. So lots of stuff to go do inside of here as well. They used to have, back in the day, some really small amusement rides right when you walked into the building, but they have since gotten rid of those. They had like a mini Ferris wheel, and forget what else was inside of there, but I mainly remember the Ferris wheel that they had inside of there a lot of years ago, but that's been since taken out. But moving on to the next thing is going to be not really family friendly or kid friendly, but definitely a place for adults to go hang out and chill. It's going to be Players. So it's going to be a giant pool hall. They also have darts there as well. It's a bar, and you're able to drink and smoke your cigarettes and have fun, play pool, hang out with the boys, with the girls, or whatever kind of friend group that you have. Go play some pool, have some fun inside of Players. It's really the only place that we have like this in Columbus that's kind of dedicated to pool and darts. And so really cool place. It's a, one of its kind, so it is the only thing that we have, but cool nonetheless. Been there a couple of times. Not too much, not really my atmosphere. Not really a big club guy, but I do like to play pool every now and again, so definitely a cool place. Next, we're going to be moving over into kind of like wellness, relaxation, R&R kind of thing. So first up, we're going to be talking about Uptown Float. So Uptown Float is a sensory deprivation chamber. If you guys don't know what that is, it's whenever you lay in this body of water. It has a really, really high salt concentration. So whenever you lay in it, it actually makes you float, kind of like the Dead Sea, if you guys know that location over in Europe that has a super high salt content. So you can lay in it. It's about like maybe a foot of water or so, not even that, and you're actually able to float on top of it. They turn all the lights off, and it's a soundproof chamber as well, so it kind of dampers all of your senses. The water is meant to be the same temperature as your body, so you're not really supposed to meant to feel that the water is actually on you. So it kind of takes away all of your senses, and it's a really cool experience. At least for me, it might freak some people out, but for me at least, I really did enjoy it. I felt like I had not like an out of body experience, but I felt like I might have had like an epiphany of some sorts about some things that I was thinking about. So I would definitely go here if it sounds like something that maybe you need to kind of get away from everything, shut everything out, and just it could just be you in there. That might be a bad thing for some people. I know for me, I think it helped me out a lot. So most people I think might just fall asleep in there. I don't think you're supposed to do that, but I could definitely see some people doing that. And again, the saltwater content inside of there is super high, so whatever you do, do not touch your eyes. I made that mistake. I put my my hand in the water, and I went to go rub my face because I think I might have been sweating or something, and I got salt all up in my eyes, and a super high salt concentration. So it was terrible. So my eye was burning for a little bit, but other than that, super good experience. Just don't put your eyes underwater. Don't touch your eyes after you put your hand in the water because you will get salt in them and it will burn. But moving on to the next thing is going to be the Oxbow Meadow Environmental Center. So this is going to be a good place for you to take your children. They have a lot of animal showcasing. So when they bring out like the python or the alligator or the falcon or something like that, and they explain it to the children, showcase the animal, things that it can do. So super cool place to go to. They also have a garden over here as well that you're able to help plant things in, go take a walk around, take some pictures. So super cool, definitely a good getaway to go do with the family, to go check out, maybe once at least, to go see if your children like these kind of activities. And moving on to the next thing is going to be one that I'm pretty sure most of us already know about, but Callaway Gardens. So Callaway Gardens, I'm putting this on this list because it is not inside of Columbus, Georgia, but it is close enough to where anybody could, realistically commute and go there and come back in the same day. Tried to keep it, under an hour. So this is right there, about under an hour away from Columbus. So at Callaway Gardens, you have the man-made lake that you're able to play with the on all the inflatables and jump on them, and then jump into the lake. They also have boating over there as well, and swimming. They have events year-round. They have like the Butterfly Festival, the Pumpkin Festival. They have the Christmas light show. They have a whole bunch of flowers that bloom during the spring, and they have a show for that too. So lots of stuff to go do here as well. They have lodging here, some restaurants. Really, it's just a resort, so really big and really a lot of activities to go do at Callaway Gardens. But we're going to go ahead and move away from that, since I think most people already know what Callaway Gardens is. At least if you already live here. If you don't, then again, just pretty much just that your generic resort. There's just a lot of stuff to do, so go check it out if you would like it. So next we're going to be moving on to this next part, which is going to be the indoor recreation and sports activities part of the video. So first we're going to go over the Treadstone climbing gym. So the Treadstone climbing gym is what you would think. So it's a rock climbing, there's like rock climbing walls from various different levels. They also have ropes, I think, that you're able to go off as well, that are hanging from the ceiling that you're able to use. I've been here before when I was a little kid, but I wasn't quite strong enough to be able to, climb to the heights that I really wanted to at the time. So had a really limited experience with it, but I do know some people that end up going here a lot, people that like to boulder, and they train their grip strength here as well. They also have lessons that you're able to take at this facility too. So if you're into that, go check it out. And moving on to the next thing is going to be some escape rooms that we have. So we have Exodus Escape Room and Mastermind Escape Games. And I believe we also have an Escapeology here in Columbus. So everybody, if you don't know what an escape room is, they kind of gather a group of people, maybe 4 to 7 people. They put you in a room and there's clues and you have to, unlock the puzzle and kind of figure everything out. They give you like letters and numbers and combination codes that you're able to look under objects and around the room to kind of piece together to figure out exactly what's going on and how you get out of there. I did one of these for my birthday around 2 years ago with a couple of my friends, and I had a really cool experience and fun time going to it. I went to the one over in the Main Street Shopping Center over in the northern part of the city. Had a really good time. We made it all the way to the end of the escape room, and we couldn't quite figure out the last hint, so we did have to have some help from the person that was looking over and monitoring us, which was a bit of a bummer, but we did end up getting it with that one hint. So she said that we did a pretty good job, but I would have liked it if we could have gotten it by ourselves. But if you've gotten it by yourselves, please let me know. I'd like to know. So if we have any masterminds sitting here that are watching my videos today. So moving on to the next part is going to be the Columbus Aquatic Center. So the Columbus Aquatic Center, go swimming. They also have an Olympic-sized swimming pool there as well, diving boards, the swimming lessons. They have open swimming too. Just a swimming pool, just a little bit more to it than your generic swimming pool. They just made a whole center out of it. And going over to the next thing is going to be the Columbus Ice Rink, which is going to be attached to the Columbus Civic Center. And this facility is open year-round. You're able to go ice skating there, obviously. Nothing else more than that, seating. I think they have some food and some drinks that you're able to get there as well. But if you're into ice skating, go do that and check it out. We also have a hockey team called the Columbus River Dragons that performs out of that facility as well. But moving on to the next thing is going to be cultural and historical sites within the city if you are into like a really big history buff kind of thing. So we have Heritage Corner that has a lot of homes like the Pemberton House as well as the Langdon House, which are really two big historical buildings within the city for the founder of Coca-Cola and everything like that. So Heritage Corner is a pretty cool place. Lots of old homes. They're actually redoing a portion of that right now and replacing some of the homes and renovating some of the homes and actually selling them back to the public so they're able to live inside of them. And they're going to be redoing a portion of it, and it's going to be called Heritage Park. And over there, you can actually see on the Columbus Consolidated Government website, I believe exactly what it is going to be looking like. But definitely going to be a cool place to go check out too, especially if you're really big into history. Next thing is going to be the National Infantry Museum. So the National Infantry Museum is a really big facility. They have a movie theater there that you're able to watch some films and things that they have specifically geared towards that establishment that they have. They also have simulations and like a simulation shooting range there as well. They have history going all the way back to, I believe, the Civil War and going up to modern era. Or it might be World War I up to the modern era, but it's either Civil War or World War I going up to the modern era. I can't exactly remember at this point in time, but it is absolutely huge facility nonetheless. I've been there a couple of times myself, and I feel like I see something new every single time I go there. So go check it out if you are stopping by in the area, or if you do live in the area and you've never checked it out before. I mean, you might as well. You're here. It's one of the biggest museums of its nature, so might as well go check it out. And the next thing, we're going to be going over a couple more museums. So we have the National Civil War Navy Museum, which is right next to the Columbus Civic Center, and they actually have whole boats from the Civil War over here, and the museum is dedicated to the efforts of the Navy that was during the Civil War, so nothing really outside of that period. Definitely a lot smaller than the National Infantry Museum, but cool nonetheless. Moving on to the next part, we have the Lunchbox Museum. So the Lunchbox Museum is, I actually didn't even know this place existed until I accidentally stumbled upon it. So I was actually going in here because they sell a whole bunch of like antiques and furniture and things like that. And whenever I walked in there, there was the old man that owns the store. He was sitting in his recliner, and he said, "I bet I know why you guys are here." And I said, "Oh Lord, what's going on? I don't know." And he said, "I bet you guys are here to see the Lunchbox Museum." And I was like, "I didn't know there was a Lunchbox Museum." And then he said, was like, well, it's $7 to see the Lunchbox Museum. So I ended up going inside and looking at it, and he has probably thousands of lunchboxes inside of there, and he'll explain to you exactly, you know, the value of all the lunchboxes. I believe the most valuable one he has is like maybe around $10,000 or $15,000 or so. It's has like Tipsy the elephant on it on the lunchbox. If you guys don't know who Tipsy is, I believe it is the elephant that Thomas Edison sacrificed for either DC or AC current to show how deadly it is, and trying to prove Nikola Tesla wrong whenever they were talking about, you know, their whole electricity feud. So pretty cool in there. Definitely worth to go check out, just to see all the lunchboxes. Never seen anything like that before in my life, and it's always been right there, and I've never known about it. But moving on to the next thing is going to be the Little White House. So this is actually going to be over in Warm Springs, Georgia. So in the Little White House, it was Franklin D. Roosevelt that ended up being in there and living in there for a portion of his life. So a little bit of a museum inside of there, and they also have a little pool that's a spring. That's a little pool that is has a spring going into it. If I can get my words together and my thoughts straight right now, but it's super cold, and I believe it is closed right now. I don't think it's been open for a number of years, but definitely a cool little piece of history to go check out over there by the Little White House. And the next thing is going to be the Coca-Cola Space and Science Center. So I've always loved this place. I'm a super big nerd whenever it comes to like physics and science and outer space. So definitely a cool place to go check out if you are a like-minded person like myself. They have a planetarium over there that you're able to go to, as well as some flight simulators for flying rocket ships. And they have a couple of other activities that you're able to do, look at, lots of history, astronaut suits that you're able to observe as well. So super cool place, especially if you have children, or again, if you're super big into science. Definitely might blow your mind away a little bit. Definitely cool to go look at. Good place to spend the day. Again, all these places I think are at least worth to go to one time to look at. I mean, it's all here. If you are already living here, you have nowhere to go, then might as well figure out what you like, right? So moving on to the next part is going to be art and the performing arts section of the city. So first up is going to be the Bo Bartlett Center. So we have lots of works of art that come out of here. I haven't really been to a lot of these art centers. So we have the Bo Bartlett Center, we have the Gallery on 10th, we have the Bett Gallery, we also have the Ilgis Gallery, if I'm saying that correctly, and we also have the River Center of Performing Arts. And we also have the Springer Opera House. So the two I'm the most familiar with and that I've been to the most is going to be the Springer Opera House and the River Center for the Performing Arts. So in these two facilities, if you have not been here, I highly recommend you at least go to one of their shows. They have Broadway shows, plays, orchestras, all kinds of things that end up going on here. They have planned it, you know, throughout the year. So it's not like, you know, they have nothing going on. They always have stuff planned for way out in the future. You can go on their websites and check those out. But definitely go check these out. We've had a lot of really cool things come out of this. I know that the Springer Opera House just put $10 million into the facility to make it look better and perform better for all of the people that decide to come and watch everything that they have going on in there. So definitely please go check these out. Columbus is really known for this, like the music and the plays and all of that, and the culture. This is like the super big culture part of the city comes out of the Springer Opera House and the River Center for the Performing Arts. And by the way, the River Center for Performing Arts is by Columbus State University. Columbus State University, if you guys don't know, has a really big influence on a lot of things inside of Columbus, Georgia, especially whenever it comes to music and the arts and culture as well. So just a cool little fact right there to say. And then the last portion of the video is going to be talking about food and local markets. So not a whole lot to say right here, but I'll say it nonetheless. So Columbus Eats and Food Tour. So this is a relatively new thing, I believe, over the past couple of years, where you're able to, you know, you pay a certain price and you have a tour guide, and they take you on a walk tour around the uptown portion of the city. At least I believe that's the only place that it takes you to, and you try all the different kinds of foods, international foods, local shops, and they take a tour around, tell you about the history of exactly what's been going on in the uptown area, and yeah, and so also up there in the next thing is going to be the market days in uptown. So every Saturday morning we have or I think most Saturday mornings, whenever it's not raining at least, we have market days up there at in the uptown portion of the city, and they sell like the handmade soaps, the jewelry, vegetables, fruits, all that, really anything in between. The vendors set up, and you're able to kind of go down there, look at everything. A really big, nice little community event. Again, Columbus really does have, I think, a really good community, even though people don't really think so at the end of the day, or a lot of people, at least online that I see, don't think that we have that good of a community. But I think otherwise, from looking around and being out there and looking at everybody and talking to everybody, I think that we do have a pretty good and a pretty involved community. And to end the video off, let's talk about some of the nightlife things to do inside of the city. So we have a couple of bars. We have the Tap, we have Rooftop, we have Nonic, and what else we got? We got the Hooch, we got Sky Bar. I know we have another sports bar. We have 1985, and we also have a couple of hookah bars, but we have one hookah bar, and those are all in the uptown portion of the city. So if you're really looking for an expanded nightlife inside of the city of Columbus, I would definitely stay in that uptown portion of the city, especially since they are updating the riverfront portion that Synovus has been doing over the past couple of months or year or so. So it should be a lot more businesses moving into that area, especially bars, and hopefully some other cool things to go do. Some shops that aren't, just a bunch of clothing stores. I think we probably have enough of those in the uptown portion of the city. But anyways, guys, I know this has been kind of a long video. I just wanted to kind of touch on everything there is to do inside of the city for the most part. I probably missed a thing here or there, but if I did, please put it down in the comment section below, so people that come to watch the video and like to know things to do inside of the city have a kind of a full encapsulated piece of evidence, or not evidence, but material that they're able to look over and kind of see exactly what they would like to do. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please do subscribe if you'd like to see more, and hit that notification bell to not miss any more of my uploads that I'm going to be having in the future. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I am a real estate agent in Columbus, so if you'd like to, you can schedule a meeting with me. I have a calendar link in the description below. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.